Lisa Block here, MD&M West 2025, day 3, and we are super excited to wrap up our day. I have Tony, the man. Listen, you were out there talking to people. You were laying on the floor. You were interviewing mannequins. You've done it all this week, haven't you?
You know, I have had so much fun. I've been to a lot of trade shows.
Awesome?
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yes.
This is probably my favorite trade show experience I've had.
Wow.
I've been to a lot of trade shows. And
that's saying a lot, guys.
And I think it's because I got to talk to so many people and find out what was important to them and how they were finding success. So it led me to think, like, you know, you are a big part of your business.
Yeah.
I get to be a big part of my business.
Yes.
What are those top-level lessons for success that we can pass on to other people?
Ooh, top-level lessons for success. Well, I think it goes down to what your responsibilities are. I think it's the recognition that your responsibilities will ever be evolving.
Yeah.
They will never remain the same. And that is a very humbling experience to go through, because you're realizing that just when you get the hang of whatever else you've had to deal with, there's something new to greet you. So I think staying nimble would be the first.
Well, I like that.
Right? Stay nimble. You're going to have to be flexible. You're going to have to move around. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to make multiple versions of yourself so that things become repeatable, right?
Yeah.
So I think for me, my very first thing would be stay nimble. Stay nimble, stay humble.
That's right. We had a guy that we knew. He used to say, blessed are the flexible, for they rarely get bent out of shape.
Blessed are the flexible. That's great. What would you say the second one is? What would be your top tip?
I would say make sure that you are not just not just naming core values, but living within your core values.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, especially as a leader, right? You have to lead from the top down. You can't expect the people that you serve to follow your core values if you're not doing that yourself. And so for us, our core values it's based on the idea of grit. And grit is just hard work anyways, right? That's what that idea of grit is. But for us, it means a little bit something more. It means gratitude, relationships, integrity, and tenacity.
Yeah.
And so when we do our hiring, when we do our firing, when we do our reviews, every decision that we make in our business is based on those things.
Absolutely.
So a customer upsets you, you have a choice, right?
Yeah.
You can respond with gratitude
Yeah.
and build that relationship.
Yes.
You can do the right things, and you can fight like hell to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Or you can abandon all your principles and just worry about the money, right?
Yes.
I don't think that your core values should ever be based around finances or profit, because those are things that you can't necessarily control.
Yeah.
Your core values are who you are at an essence, the things that you really believe in and who you are and how you are going to show the world what your company is. And so for us, those 4 things, gratitude, relationships, integrity, and tenacity, that's everything that we do. And we can check ourselves. I can check myself on that on a daily basis to see if I'm doing it well, if I'm leading well. So that would be my first tip.
Yes. Okay. So Tony has shared grit. I've shared my first
flexibility,
one, which is
and
nimbleness. Be flexible.
Humility.
Right. Be humble and be nimble. I would say the third one is grace. You know, one of the things that you have to realize is that as you are growing a business, whether you're growing it from the inside or you're starting something on your own, you're not going to get everything right the first time. Everything's not always going to be perfect. And if you live with the goal of perfection every single day, you're going to have a hard time transitioning when things outside of your control stop your progress. So I would say you're going to have to give yourself some grace and really, really consider those core values and let it bring you back to your center so that you can get the work done that's necessary, because I believe that that can be your biggest stumbling block, not giving yourself the latitude to make mistakes that will inevitably happen anyway.
Absolutely. We talk about it all the time. The idea that perfection is great,
Yeah.
but perfection is impossible. We want progress. Progress, not perfection, and all those things. And you speak about grace for yourself. I think it's also really important to remember grace for others.
Absolutely.
Everything is going to go wrong. Not everything is going. If everything is going wrong, you should probably rethink everything. But things are going to go wrong, and when they do, are you offering grace to other people? And when I say grace, I don't just mean I don't mean mercy. I don't mean don't just yell at them. Grace is like, something went wrong,
Yeah.
somebody doesn't deserve something,
Yes.
and you give them kindness anyways, and you teach them, you give them empathy, and you bring them along, right?
Yeah.
That is a whole different thing than
Absolutely.
just being like, it's okay, don't worry about it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's okay. Let's transition. So
Yeah.
we've got grace, we've got grit, we've got nimbleness and humility. Let's transition to some of our daily routines. What
Yeah.
are the things that you do every day to keep yourself productive and keep yourself on track?
Yeah, so the first thing I do, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go downstairs. I stretch out my foot a little bit. I spend some time.
Just one foot?
Yeah, I got one. Yeah. I broke my left ankle, and I have screws and plates and wires in there, and it's stiff every morning, so I got to break that in a little bit.
Okay.
And while I'm doing that, I sit on the couch. And
But for the record, you guys can stretch 2 feet if you like.
you can. Yeah. I'm just telling you what I do.
Yes.
I have one foot up on the footrest and one foot on the floor.
I'm getting you back. Tony's been harassing me all week. It's okay.
Good. It's good. It's good. And then I sit on the
ahead.
couch and I read my daily devotional.
Yep.
And I text that out to my family because we do that all together.
Yep.
And then I go downstairs. I'll put in a good hour workout.
Yep.
Come upstairs, have breakfast, take a shower, go to work. But that's my focus every day. So it directs it's my compass, right?
Yes.
I wake myself up. I get myself energized. I'm prepared. My mind is in the right place. And then by the time I get to work, I'm not groggy. I'm not tired. I've already spent some time with myself and really in the Word, so I am focused to be able to do and be the best person that I can be.
I think that's amazing. I will go on the record and say that my daily routine looks like a train wreck right now. And I'm just being perfectly honest with you. I have had a lot of added responsibilities that has made my daily routine of getting up and being kind to myself, studying in devotional and all that good stuff, and then going into my workout and work day. Yeah, all of that was good, but that is me circa 2020.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
haven't.
I get it.
I'm just being honest with you. I am hopelessly beholden to a very packed schedule. So there may be days when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and don't lay my head to pillow until midnight. I'm not saying do it, but that's what I'm saying. It's a real reality of where I am right now. Am I excited about where I am right now? Not really, but I have some demands. I have some demands on myself right now that, and arguably that I've placed on myself, right, to deliver, right? And so right now, this is where I am. It means a packed schedule. It means doing things that matter to me. And it means that everything I do has to be steeped in purpose. I am the wrong person for you to call to do anything if you need someone that does not care. And so I also will acknowledge that I have sometimes a challenge with people who do not care or who show up and do not care, right? The way that I am fed, right, energy or otherwise, is by things that really drive me and things that really make a difference. So even though my schedule is kind of packed, if I find myself in a place where I'm able to really pour out into something that really matters to me, that fills my love tank and my emotional tank, and it lets me come to the table and do the work I need to do.
So I got a question for you.
Okay.
You and I are both family people.
Yes.
We don't have the same family.
No.
We are not tied together.
No, we don't.
I know y'all find that hard to believe.
Right.
But we both have families.
Absolutely.
We both have a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
How do you find a way? You just said that your life and your schedule is like a train wreck.
Yes.
Kids don't help that.
Well,
right?
my schedule became a train wreck because of my kid, right?
So how do you balance that? How do you balance your family life and your work life? What does that look like for you?
There is no balance. And let me tell you why I say that. To me, that's not a choice. I would not be in an environment where I could not prioritize my child. And so if that means that I have to spend the day doing all of my work, leave the minute work is over, and go do all the things to be at all the basketball games and all the choir performances and all the senior pictures and everything that comes with being a mom, I do that. And if it means I get back to my desk at 10:30 at night and I work till 3 a.m., sometimes that's the day I have, because I am aware that my contributions to my child is my most profitable work. And so if I'm not investing in that, then I don't feel like a proper leader at work if I'm not a proper leader at home.
I love that. I love that answer.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important that people remember that their family is at home. You know, most times all of us spend more time at work than we do at home.
Yes.
And so we also have to like it there also, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you should not, I said this the other day, you should not hate where you work, and if you do, you should find a new place to work. That's just fact, right?
100%.
But you should when you're off, I've learned this. I didn't always think this, but I've learned this. I've had some important people pour into me and tell me, when you're off, you should be off.
Yeah.
And when your team is off, they should be off, and you should allow them to be off.
Yes.
You should find time, or you should find a backup for everybody on your team.
Yes.
Not because you want to replace them, but because they have earned the right to have time with their family.
Absolutely. But I may or may not have been working while other people are on stage singing, and it's not my job.
Yes. Yes.
I may be pulling out my phone and doing a little work until she gets back on stage. But I do think that prioritizing family is very, very important. I do travel a lot. I'm not saying this is what everyone must do. I'm just telling you what we are not in any way saying this is what you should do. What we are saying is this is where we are right now. This is what we do right now. 2 executives at our companies. This is what we're doing, because I say that to say I did not actively travel out of the country until my daughter was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
I had just said that I wasn't going to do that. Now she's in college. She's away. I'm able to move around. And I had a company that extended me enough grace to allow me to wait until the time period where it was acceptable for me to move around. So people talk about you move around a lot and you travel internationally a lot. You're always in a hotel. I absolutely am. But however, it is because this is where I am now. When I was actively involved in the day-to-day, like she's not going anywhere, she needs me for everything, I was at home. And so I just want to highlight that if you're in a space now where you're trying to figure out how that works, don't feel like you're missing out on anything in your career because you're having to prioritize family right now, because life has a way of making sure that time and seasons are regulated. And so though you may not be able to do that today, it doesn't mean you won't be able to do that tomorrow. So I was super excited about the opportunity to be able to start getting out there on the road and doing what I needed to do internationally, but I waited until my kid was in high school.
It can be really difficult to
For
do
sure.
those things. I remember, again, I talk about my father
and to
all the
leave
time.
your children. Let's talk about that. It's hard to leave your children.
Yeah, I
even though you're grateful sometime for the break.
I talk about my father all the time. When Jack and Grace were little, we worked from home. Kelly and I worked from home, and we would spend 90% of the day that they were awake with them, and then we would work at night. We would work from, 8 o'clock at night till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then get up when they got up and do it all over again. And my father would tell me, like, you should not be going to hockey with Jack in the morning. You got to take care of work. You got to do these things. And I thought, no, I got to take care of the relationship that I'm going to have with my son. That is the most important thing, because I'm never going to get that back. Right.
And how was it not that kids are not important, but there are 2 adults that have to rear those children. How was it to find time for each other in the midst of that? Were you guys like setting up candles and dinner while you were on your laptops?
Oh man, what was great was we worked back to back in the same bedroom.
Yeah.
She had one table over here. I had one table over here. We would turn around and talk for a little while, and then turn around and go back to work.
Awesome.
We would take shifts with the kids. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was a great way to do life.
Yeah.
But that was that season of my life.
Yeah.
And now this season is different. I
Yeah.
have different flexibility and different abilities to do things, and I don't have to be home as often, right? My Jack is in college. My daughter is in high school.
Yeah.
When I'm home, I spend time with them.
Yeah.
I'm focused in. It could be as simple as laying on the couch and doing nothing, but I'm
that
locked
nothing
in.
Is something, though.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, that nothing is something. Well, listen.
I can't wait to do that now. I want to go lay on the couch.
Go lay on the couch and spend time with the kids. Those were just some of the things that we did to kind of handle all of the things on our plate. And they are big plates. All of you deal with things. You have big plates. If you're an executive, your plate is huge. If you're a sales and marketing person, your plate is probably huge. If you're in business development, your plate is probably huge. If you're a support staff person, you probably have a big plate. I don't want you to think that position determines how big your plate is, but know that whatever it is you're balancing, everyone in your life appreciates the fact that you're willing to balance it. So listen, we are going to wrap up day 3, MD&M West 2025, and we want to say thank you to all of you who have been watching us all week long, dealing with our hygienes, all of our conversations. We've had amazing interviews. We've had amazing influencers. We've had amazing people that came by and were our studio audience. We have amazing exhibitors packing up up right now. If you could give a virtual hug to all of them that still have to stay far after you walk through and look at their businesses, they're still here working into the night to make sure they can show up for you again next year. MD&M 2025, day 3 this week is a wrap. Thank you so much, and we will see you next year.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Informa, for the opportunity. Baker's Media.
Thank you, Informa.
Baker's Man Media. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you guys so much.